This tutorial will show you how to make these hen pictures. Hello, my name's Andrea Coleman and I'm going to show you step by step of the way how to recreate this hen picture. To get started, mix up your soap and water following the directions. Then take your white fleece, divide it in two along the length. Then take a small part off, just hand size, and I can show you how to make a patch of felt. Trapping the ends, just pull away and keep doing this. We're just going to make a very small square. The most common mistake is your hands get too close together and it's difficult to pull apart. Pat it to get rid of any static. Then you can turn your work and take another small amount of fleece off your bigger piece and go across your work doing exactly the same. This will create two layers. When you've finished that, if you like, you could add a few different colours. I've got a piece over here where I've put 3 patches next to each other and put small amounts of black silk on top and allowed the colours to mingle. Now I'm going to add some soapy water. Make sure your water's warm, not too hot. Otherwise it would be uncomfortable. Then add your thin plastic on top, press down. It's important to make sure all the fibres are completely wet. Then add a tiny bit of soapy water on top and rub your hands up and down for 1 minute. If the thin plastic starts to ruckle up, just add a little bit more soapy water to it. After you've done a minute like that, quarter turn your work and go in this direction. And then after another minute, you do it in that direction and you finish off in that direction. So you would have done 4 minutes. Once you've spent 4 minutes rubbing, test your fibres to see if they hold together well. If not, do another 4 minutes. You can always turn it over and work on this side. When these 3 patches are ready, you can then do another 3 patches. Use the black for the cockerel and then there's the yellow for the chicks. For the cockerel, use some of the purpley blue silk and place it on top. You don't need very much and it's very effective. Then repeat what you did with the first 3 patches. Then you can make, I've just made a small one here, a patch of white fleece, starting with the horizontal and the second layer vertical. This white will now be the background of your picture and we can start to put the sky on. So take your lightest blue and lay it down. It's better to have lots of thin layers and build it up. You want this blue to go to about 2/3 down on your picture. And just pull small amounts out and pat it down. Then take your mid-coloured blue and add that to about halfway. You build up the colours. Then taking your darkest blue, you need very little of that. Just put some down, very thin amounts to about 1/4. You can always go back and put light and mid blues down if you would like. Then taking your light green, make sure you go over your pale blue. Bring that right down to the bottom of your picture. You can finish the background of your picture off by adding a few of the other greens you've got. And if you'd like to make some grass, take some of your silk and green and pull it apart and then join it again. Keep doing that until you have a little bit. You only need a tiny thin bit like this. Twiddle both ends like that. Cut it in the middle. And place it on your picture. If you'd like, you can also add little bits of pink yarn by just chopping it up, and it creates a floral effect. Doesn't matter if it goes in the sky, I quite like it. A bit like confetti. Once you've made your background, you're ready to put your chickens in the picture. Using your template, cut out your chicken shapes and then cut them out of your patches you made earlier. For instance, this chicken, you could add a wing and then just secure it in place with your felting needle. With the cockerel, you could add a little bit of this dyed fibres and just twist it up and put it on the tail. This is the yarn. You've got the chicken that's A and B. You could create the top part of her, the A part, with in white, and use grey for your B part, and again secure it in place. When your chickens are ready, you can place them on your background, and when you're happy, you can start getting it absolutely soaking wet. Sprinkle carefully. When it's wet through, place the thin plastic on top and press down. It's very important you just spend time pressing so that your picture doesn't move. When you've pressed down for at least a minute, then you can start your rubbing process that we started right at the beginning with wetting the top and sliding your hands across. Be very careful at first. and be very gentle, you can become stronger and more forceful later on. Once you've rubbed your work enough, you can rinse your picture out and put it to dry somewhere, and I'll show you how to put on the details. When your work's dry, we can now tidy up the edges of your picture. Don't forget to use the foam under your picture, otherwise you'll break the needle. So angle your needle in and you can just tidy up like that. Now to start putting the eyes, the crest, the bottle and the feet on your birds. You need the most tiny amount of red to create a crest. Just put it on top of your cockerel and poke into place. And then you can just attach one to his neck as well. With the cockerel's eye, because it's black, I suggest you first start with a piece of white, and you're using tiny amounts. Put it in place. And then you can put a tiny amount of black on top. Never poke too much in one place, otherwise you just poke your wool straight through to the other side. And then finishing with a little bit of orange for the beak. And want some legs, just twist it in your fingers, small amount, and place it on the cockerel, and then you can splay out the bottom a little bit to create feet. Once you've finished putting all the details on your picture and it is finished, you can mount it with double-sided sellotape on a piece of card. You could now make a few more small pictures or one bigger one. Hello, thank you for watching my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and you enjoy making your picture. And when you've finished, maybe you'd like to make an Artfelt animal.